then we just keep going, keep going, keep going. Now we do this because that way the processor won't get too stressed by a simple application like this. We don't need to be checking every well, X milliseconds or whatever, or microseconds in our case. So we don't need to check that quick. We just check every 1 second. We check that, and once it found it, so you run the game. Oh, it'll find it straight away. So that'd be a good thing. Now the next bit is slightly easier than this. So we go while. What we're going to do is going to say inject DLL. Now this is a function we'll write in a second. Alright. Process ID. Now all this does is say, can I inject the DLL? If so, get out. If you can't inject the DLL, just either give the reason or whatever, or just keep going. So that will come up as an error for now. Leave that, it's fine. We'll do that in a second. Then go system.clearScreen, just like we did here. So CLS, close that, and then we're going to say cout. Open these two bad boys and say DLL failed. Oops, got to make sure you put the strings there. DLL failed. Oops, to inject. So we inject our DLL there and end that line. So end line, yep, that's fine. And once again we sleep, set the processor to sleep, capital S, don't forget that, for 1000 milliseconds, because we don't want to, because all this does is constantly keep trying to inject the DLL until it's successful. Oops, not 100 milliseconds, 1 second. And then we say cout DLL, so we'll do our inject DLL function in a second. So DLL injected successfully, because once it leaves this loop, it means it's been successfully injected successfully. Yep, let's put a little exclamation there. And then end line, and then let's put another end line here, because here it'll look a little bit better. That's the way I've done it on my example, so hopefully it'll be the same for you guys. And then another cout. Let's just copy that. We don't want to keep doing this. Cout, closing, injector in 5 seconds. Now the reason why we're doing this is because once it's injected, we don't care about this at all anymore. All we want to do is work with our interface. So after the injector's done its job, we just get rid of it, because all we care about is the DLL really, and that's what's going to do all our work. Then we're going to go close handle, so get rid of our handle here, handle, and that will be hproc snap. Don't forget that, proc snap. And then we're going to say sleep for basically 5. So we said closing in 5 seconds, and then we just return 0. I mean, you can say return false, return true. Okay, so great news, guys. I as you can probably tell by this new crappy mic, I just wasted about 40 minutes of footage because my mic died again, and this is a different one, and I didn't realize I've been talking to myself for about 40 minutes. So let's redo this again, which is a bunch of BS, but whatever. So the next thing we do is I apologize for the I know there's some, not feedback, but there's some background noise with this. I really need to buy a new mic as soon as I can get some money together, probably next week or something. Hopefully, I guarantee the next tutorial won't bloody have this mic. But anyways, so we've created our function here, and now what we gotta call is that, so we're gonna go bool inject DLL. I'll do that in capitals because I think that'll look good. And then capitals D word process ID. And now, excuse me, this is pretty much our last function to do, and the only function left, pretty much. Actually, yeah, it's pretty much the only function in this thingy. So we declared. Yeah, so something I forgot to tell you. So make sure you declare this here. I did it earlier, so just make sure you write that. That's a function prototype, and you need those in C++ quite often. Our interface doesn't seem to need them, but this does. I hope this is fairly loud for you, so I'm going to have a bit of ice cream quickly. So, I want to start off by creating a few variables. So handle on capitals, handle hproc. Oops, that was wrong. Hproc. There you go. And then we're going to go LP void, all in capitals, param ADR, so parameter address, and then H instance, which relates to what we declared at the top, DLL, equals load library, and open that, and this will be kernel 32, and this is a method we're taking to, like I said, well, I'm not sure I told you guys this already because I'm getting some deja vus as I'm having to say things twice, but this is the way we're going to inject our DLL. Basically, we're getting access to a library and we're injecting the DLL through write process memory. So hopefully that's cleared up for you. So next thing we're going to do is going to say fp load, actually, God's sakes, fp load library DLL. Make sure that's okay. Oops, sorry, that's not DLL. Equals load library. Sorry, I really gotta keep turning my head. I'm gonna break my neck all of a sudden. Load library address ADDR equals fp load library. That seems fair to me. fp load library. What's wrong with that? fp load library. That seems fine to me. And then get proc address hdll load library. So yeah, you don't need to be really aware of what these do. Just worry about the fact that it's an injector, and this is going to be used for our DLL. So don't worry about anything else. Basically, all you have to do is write these once, and the only thing, if you want to change game, you just write a different DLL and you change the code within that. You don't actually ever have to use this again, except for changing a couple of things. Process, all capitals, process, all access. So we're giving ourselves all access on the game process. False. So we're opening it, and we declared all access, which means we can read, we can write. So if we did read only, it would only be read, and you know, you get the idea. So process ID, all in capitals actually here. And then we say char. Just go DLL path, and this is where we're going to store our DLL, our directory. So 250 characters equals. So it'll be C mine. This is where mine's going. I'll show you that in a second. So C hacks, and then do that, so we can join that later with the name of our file. So my folder here. What did I do wrong there? Process. Okay. So I took that quick break to find out if the thingy was recording properly as well. So just change out or change this, up to you. That was an absolute noob mistake by me, but never mind that. So we got a DLL path. That's what you get for copying something, just leaving others out. That's what you get. So I'm here looking at my code and trying to save you guys time, but then I always make mistakes. So what we're doing now, I'm going to show you quickly actually here. I don't know if I've got this here, so I'll close that Ollie. I'll show you that in a second. So if I go on my computer, the reason why I'm doing that is because I've got C, local disk. As you can see here, C, and then you've got a folder called hacks. There it is. So that's why I've got that there, because I've got this is where I put my hacks, and so the injector is going to look on that folder and look for the file named what are we going to call whatever we call a DLL. Next thing we're going to do, excuse me, I'm having a bit of ice cream, and then we're going to go DLL path. So what we're doing here is we're joining the path of our DLL that we defined there with. Now you can also clearly define this at the top. That's fine, because that might be easier for you to mess around with. Define it at the top and then just join them together here. But yeah, so we're joining here file to inject. So if you have a look at the top, you'll see that basically, just look up here, file to inject, and you'll see that's that name. So it'll basically join the name C hacks, and then it'll probably put my DLL dot DLL. For example, that's how it will go in the end. So the program knows where to grab that DLL from, pretty much. So it joins them together so we know where to get it from, and then we say file to inject. And now these are fairly big functions, so let's just write them quickly. Well, they're function calls, so let's just do them. So param ADR equals virtual allocate. Of course, as usual, feel free to check any of these out on Windows MSDN website, but from what I know, this call pretty much just allocates memory for us to use. So hproc 0 sit_URL here, and so again the string length here of DLL path, which is, we know is 250, but just do that in case you do change it later on. DLL path +1 mem, all in capitals, mem commit. Not sure why I do that actually. Nah, don't worry about it. And then we change the write, see, so the protect type we change to read write. So read write, which means we can write into memory, not only read it. So if you only put read, then you try and write to memory, you'll probably get an error. So, but don't worry about that. I got an error there for some reason. So this, oh yeah, gotta change that, a little typo there. Yeah, and then go bool memory written equals write process memory. Now, if you followed me on the other tutorial, either one of them, if you followed me with the C# trainer or with the C++ console trainer, then you know that write process memory. Oh, you've done this obviously. Hopefully you've done this at some point, otherwise you probably shouldn't be here, but whatever, just keep going. You'll know that this just writes memory into our program. What we're writing here, we're writing, so DLL path to draw length null hproc. Just wondering what we're writing here. I knew the answer a minute ago. I'm just wondering now. I'll just try and figure out in a second. So param address DLL path, and then we're going to go ctrl. It's just same as here really. Just going to copy that. Make sure it's +1, and then last parameter is null. So we're checking if our program's good to write memory to, and I think we write that address. This isn't the actual injection. The injection comes right here. So we've allocated memory. We've written to that part of the memory of the program. So then we create a remote thread for it. So create remote thread. hproc. Let's just keep going. 0 0. And we're gonna go open the brackets, all in capitals. LP thread. So as you can see here, we're just gonna write here pretty much that. LP thread start routine. So these routine, and the start address is basically load library addr, then param addr. Alright? Yep, that seems good to me. So create a remote thread, and then you close the handle, hproc. You don't leave any handles. Jesus Christ, my typing's terrible. And then finally, we return memory written. Memory written. So, bit of the good stuff. So for mark and check, this seems fine to me. So create remote thread. Just adjusting my mic, make sure you guys can hear me properly. So we've got that. That seems fine. So let's try and just pull a run on it. Yeah, that seems good so far. Let's run it. Yep, make sure your game is running. Hopefully it's refreshing every second. Make sure. Hopefully it's just, come on. There you go. That's what I like to see. So hopefully this is done correctly. Now, just checking on my notes. What do we have to do now? Okay, so continuing on, I had to make a quick break there to change my mic again. I've now got a bit of a weird setup, so odds are you'll hear me typing now and then, but hopefully the quality is a bit better. So what we're going to do now is we're going to find all the addresses through the game. So I'm going to start up SaltCube. You should have yours running already. So start it up. It usually just puts you in a random map by default, but I'm going to call cheat engine up